Abandonment is a real part of growing up in or around the family disease of addiction. But I really learned a lot about the process of abandon and abandonment when I stepped into recovery. I didn't realize for the longest time in my recovery journey that I was so accustomed to abandoning myself, to sitting in a place of self-pity and feeling like I had to do everything alone. That was my narrative for the bulk of my early adult life, is that I felt like I had to do everything alone. I couldn't rely on anybody. And all of that thought process stemmed from growing up in an environment where when you try to call somebody for support in something, not even help, but support in something, the phone just rings and rings and rings. Compounded by the fact that in my teenage years, when things started to get really chaotic in my home, I would reach out for support and there wouldn't be any there. But the moment my brother was struggling with addiction, it was like flies on shit. And pain sets in those moments, right? It's nobody's fault. These aren't bad people. I think people see crisis and they don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. As I was building my life, what I was hoping for is that people would come and surround themselves around me and, I don't know, maybe be excited or want to be a part of it. And I remember having these moments as I got into my later adult years where I was accomplishing things, where I was confronted by getting to the top of the hill and standing up there alone. Which was also complicated by I would have my family come out for a graduation ceremony, and it was almost guaranteed that there was going to be some kind of fight or altercation or some kind of cringe-worthy moment. When I was in junior college and I was graduating in my second year, we're at the graduation ceremony. I'm sitting in the row and I can hear in the top rows of the bleachers, I could hear my brother and my mother screaming at each other and fighting. And someone in the row, when I'm sitting there at my graduation ceremony, is like, who is that? And I'm sitting there thinking I'm not going to say, I know my mom and my brother's voice, but when I heard the question, I was like, yeah, I don't know who that is, right? It's just a complete denial of who these people are, just the insanity of it. And just imagine that replicated. Then I came into recovery, and this process of change started to be presented to me. And we hear a lot about change. We hear it in therapeutic settings. We hear it in recovery settings. When we sit at the point of change, our turning points. See, I had a real problem with acting out in my self-pity, my self-righteousness, and my anger, my resentment. And I would be presented these moments to change, the change point of when am I going to start esteeming other people and celebrating other people as opposed to talking them down and treating them poorly? When am I going to change in that? When am I going to change in the sense of, instead of trying to be self-righteous and controlling, I actually seek to be of service to other people? And these change turning points would always present themselves to me because I was trying to be a good person. I wanted to understand myself, but I couldn't quite make the changes on my own. And when I came into recovery, I was presented with this process of complete and total abandonment of self through the process of seeking God, my higher power. And I remember thinking how fascinating that was, and also frustrating that part of my issue had always been feeling abandoned, and here I have to abandon myself and seek God to fill my life with a power greater than myself. And I remember when those words were used of a complete abandon for God, I remember thinking am I not being taught to stop abandoning myself? And this is where the distinction became clear. If I'm seeking what God can do for me in my life from another person, I'm going to be abandoned every time. I'm not going to get what I need from that. And it could be the most well-intentioned, well-meaning people and the healthiest people in my life. But if I am seeking them to solve my problems, I will abandon myself to that every time and be abandoned or neglected in that process. But if I abandon my selfish desires and my will to turn over to God, everything that I'm looking for will be answered, will be taken care of. And it's not mystical, it's not magical. I'm not sitting here telling you that you have to believe in God. I know people have sometimes an issue with that word. What I'm sharing with you is that when you're looking for all of your answers from other people, you're going to get let down, because we're human beings and we're imperfect. But if you're looking for answers that are bigger than you, and you're willing to get out of your own way and turn over your selfish will, to turn over your character defects and seek something greater, then good things can happen in your life. And that may take time, right? It's like when I first came into recovery, it didn't happen overnight. I kept making similar mistakes. I was just recognizing the turning points, and I was gaining a deeper understanding of when the turning points for change were being presented. I have an opportunity here to be the person that turns around and makes a friend with somebody that I can't stand. And I remember, because I have these situations even still recently in my life, where I have to sit and ask myself, is this one on me again? To turn around to the person that's causing strife in my life and offer a bridge of compassion? And the answer to that is yes. It is always going to fall to us to be the person that extends those things, because you can never guarantee if another person is going to do it. But what you can guarantee is if you turn your life over with a true willingness that good things could happen for you, it makes those options much easier. And here's the best news that I've found, is that when that situation presents itself to me, I also get to choose whether or not I want to do that in that moment or not. And sometimes the answer is no, and I work to get there. But I didn't even have that choice in my younger years. I just thought I was stuck. I thought it was all black and white. I thought if people aren't there to support me, I'm not going to support them, and whatever, screw them. And it led to a lot of distress. And so I would just really wrap it up to say this is our abandonment is not of our needs. Our abandonment is for our needs. And we've got to be able to make those distinctions. I know I had to be able to make it if I was going to free myself of the distress, the self-pity, the resentments. I had to abandon all of my thoughts about making those things right and allowing them to be right in myself. And the only clear way to do that was to turn my will and my life over to a power greater than myself, of my own understanding. All right. So wherever you're at with that, just know that you're not alone, and that there's tons of people who understand that. And that it does take time to gain these pieces of awareness, and it can be real stressful. It can be real painful. And that's why we need other people. And so we come on here to share these stories in hopes that you'll connect with even just a little bit of what we shared here today. And that's why I share bits and pieces of my experience, is that I know what it's like to sit and feel abandoned and neglected, but I also know what it feels like to abandon that and seek something greater. And my hope is that by listening to stuff like this, maybe you start to move in that direction too. That's all I got for you guys today. I love you. We'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, we're a self-supported channel. So if you relate to any of the information that you heard here today, we ask that you hit the subscribe button, the like button, share it with your grandma. Let's get this information out there. If you're looking for recovery, or you're looking to just heal in the ways of stress and issues going on in your life, you can find our information at breakingthecycletherapy.com. If you're looking for more hands-on recovery, and we believe here that recovery starts with a peer-led process, people who understand recovery, you can find Don Radin's information at recoveredandfree.com. I'm going to turn it over to Don just to kind of share a little bit of information on where to find his program and why it's so important. But we need your support. We are trying to help people grow in recovery. Please share this message.
Well, it's my belief that at Recovered and Free, we kind of break the mold of traditional treatment because we're strictly peer-led. And that means that one addict and alcoholic who has found a solution for his life helps another one out of the hole. And I understand that that's based out of 12-step principles in the fellowship, but this gives us 90 days to work with men who have been traditionally chronic relapsers have gone to traditional treatment options and failed, and found that petting horses and stroking their inner child did not solve the problem for drugs and alcohol. And what we do is we solve that problem. And the men who practice what we teach have their problem solved as well. And if you need that extra layer, which I believe that solving the drug and alcohol problem is the first part, that working on the trauma issues with Dr. Alan Heide is the way to go. He has a firm grasp on the family illness of addiction and alcoholism, and how to maintain permanent sobriety and maintain and grow new family relationships. And that's at breakingthecycletherapy.com.